Okay, so we're gonna talk about installing Linux Kali in another video. It's a topic that I think I covered it before, but this time I'm gonna cover it more in a way that you probably need to. Some things you need to know always. And as a teacher, I know what you will think like as a student. At least I tell myself I know that better compared to other people, because I do roam around a lot in rooms and classrooms and students and listen to many different kind of problems they find during the installation of Linux Kali. So I want to be completely straight here. There are different kind of problems you can run into. I'm going to talk about those problems today, and I cannot cover every single detail. It would be a very long video. I haven't prepared for that. This is more like an eye-opener, so you know that this is a common issue and there are common fixes for it. Let's get straight out in this and just talk about it. So first of all, you of course need to go to kali.org. That is the prerequisite for you to get started, and you can choose between, I like the light, but let's just dig to dark for now. You can choose different kind of images. Now I'm zoomed in. I think this is the normal view. So you can have the installation installer images, virtual machines, ARM, mobile, cloud, VSL, live boot containers, and so on. Now, if you're gonna do something for the ARM processor, of course you need to download that, and that can be download for different kind of things like the Raspberry Pis, which is also something you probably need to think about a few times. Now, the different kind of Raspberry Pi versions you can download Linux Kali for. I have one already. It's the Raspberry Pi 3, I think it is. I think I downloaded the. I cannot remember if my Raspberry Pi is 64 or 32-bit, but it's a third version. So I downloaded one of these and just put it on a small memory stick. Not a stick, no, a small memory. What do you call it? Micro SD card. Okay, so going back to the actual images, most of you guys probably gonna run Linux Kali from a virtual machine. So covering the more like less picked versions of the ARM one, well, you could take the virtual machines. You can also do installation images, but I prefer always virtual machines. Now, some people do say that if you pick the virtual machine and you just run it and spin it up, they experience a slight more increased chance of that image actually being corrupted compared to if you get the actual ISO file and install it. If you do choose the this one here, the what's it called, the install image, you can go ahead and download the ISO file. As you can see, just hover over here, and down below you see it says ISO file. Then you can install it directly from any virtual machine software client, and well, basically install it where you want, the way you want it, and configure it especially to your needs. That is probably only a few people that really need to do that. Most occasions you can stick to the virtual machine one, which I also do, and there are different kind of ways for you to get this covered. Either you do the VMware, the VirtualBox, or the QEMU. Now I suggest you go ahead and do VMware Player, which is also the free version. Now I'm going to show all this and how to get it in this video, of course. If you are unlucky enough to use VirtualBox, and I kind of mean it in the way that I do, VirtualBox usually do not work as well as VMware. Personal experience from others as well. Not saying that VirtualBox cannot work and not be good, but at the end of the day, I use what works. I use what other people recommend, working, because we don't want to fight our battles with software errors and small weird bugs all day long. We really just need to get going and have our tools working. So you choose either 64 or 32-bit. In most occasions it's probably 64-bit, but you can check out your own system if that is something you need to do. So you're gonna go ahead and download this one here, just click and you get this 7-set file. You just unzip it and then basically you will have a lot of files and you can just open that in a virtual player. Now I've already have this Linux Kali open here, you know, and this is the end result of having Linux Kali installed directly from a virtual on the virtual player. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and open up my virtual player. There I go. And I'm gonna show you exactly how it looks. I have this one here. It's I have different kind of things on it, as you can see, different kind of Ubuntu and Linux Kali and Debian and also Metasploitable too. And what you're gonna do is basically just open the virtual machine just like that, and you're gonna browse to the folder. I have one here called d::Kali Science. It's a specific Kali instance I have for scientific purposes. And when you navigate to that folder, you just unzip the one you got from downloading this 7-set file. Well, basically, you just navigate to that folder, and you will see one file, and that's VMX file. You just click it, click open, and then boom, you have a system. What you need to do after that, let's just assume this is the I have one there, a small error. Let's assume this is the one. Then you're gonna right click on it and take one that doesn't complain. Right click on it and say settings. What you need to do now is go ahead and divert more RAM. You know, I put 23,000 megabytes, so 23 gigabytes of RAM for this particular virtual machine, and it was just some, I just took the wheel here and I up there. I have a lot of RAM. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM in my machine, so I can put a lot of RAM for my singular running machine. And I also gave it 8 processors because I need to do different kind of things, but that is of course up to you. How many do you want to give it? I can give it up to 32, as you can see. So this is the things you need to do. There is no other things out of the box you would necessarily need to do. Depending on how you have your network connector connected, you might need to do host only custom, but I have a NAT one, so I share the host IP address and get network through that, and then my machine is already on the internet while I just boot it up for the very first time. I don't do anything more now, I have a larger maximum size of 150 gigabytes. I expanded that. The default size, I think it's 80 gigabytes. It can be quite difficult sometimes to upgrade the size, because when you just give it more and you expand like that, you also need to do it in the actual operating system because it's not partitioned to cover more than 80 gigabytes. That could be easier if you installed it from the ISO file. You can, or then you can, say like I need 180 gigabytes, and then you do not need to fight with the fact that it's difficult to expand sometimes. I just had some experience with it, and some of you guys probably said, but that's very easy, it works out of the box. I click 2 buttons and go into Linux Kali, I repartition, and boom, you're done. Yes, but it doesn't work like that always. Just gonna say it already. Alright, so I don't do anything more, just press play, and when you do that, well, basically you have a running virtual machine, and as I told you, you will see something like this, and log in, and boom, you're done. Okay, so you're gonna get some free virtual machine software now. So you go to like VMware and you type player, just like that, and you're gonna go to the VMware Workstation Player website. This is of course for Windows, and you just scroll down, download for free, boom. And when you install it, you choose something like, I want to use the free version, non-profit, blah blah blah. The typical, I'm not gonna earn money on this. Then you're done. You have a free virtual workstation player, you have Linux Kali running, and I told you exactly how it works and what you do. There are different kind of things you'd be concerned about running Windows 11, especially 11, which I am. I had great issues getting a somewhat consistent run out of my Linux Kali. I still have the issue, and you can also not use Docker at the same time. I have that issue on my computer. There is probably some combination of configuration that I could use so it could work. I just haven't found it. And in all honesty, it is something that I just haven't, thought too much about. Well, the thing is that when you're running Linux Kali on a virtual machine, you need virtualization enabled. It could be that on your BIOS, when you restart your computer, you can go to the BIOS, and there you can pick virtualization. For obvious reasons, all your BIOSes are different, so I cannot show you that, and I cannot record while showing you a actual BIOS. But I could go like to BIOS and then to like virtualization on and off, and go to Google and images, and I can show you like it could look something like this. For example, it says Intel virtual technology enabled. It could look something like this: virtualization technology enabled, something like that. Intel virtualization technology disabled, enabled. Many different ways of BIOSes. You have different kind of versions. You can also have like that. I cannot show you how it looks, but I can definitely tell you that this is something you need to have enabled in your BIOS. Another thing is also Windows. You also need to have certain BIOS, whatever thing. And I also think I do have a video for that on my channel. But, this is going to be a long video if I need to cover every single thing. Well, let me just try quickly on my other screen so you can find the video. So we can go ahead and type something like VMware. Yeah, I have something here. It's let me just show you exactly what I mean. I have an actual video. It's called Windows 11 VMware Fix. Get your speed back, no more error messages. This is one thing that I actually discovered at some point is that, let me get the quality up here. Is that you can find some command somewhere. I will show at some point and talk about. You basically need to go through the video, but there is an actual command you need to type. There we go. There we have it. There, right there. And you need to go to a command prompt. It's in administrator mode, as you can see. And then you need to restart your computer. But I'm gonna put a link to this video in the description down below so you can watch it. Now, whatever happened there? Yeah, sorry for that. The video just started. Just shut it off and pause the video. So basically, I'm not saying this video will fix everything for you, but it's definitely worth, thinking about some of the things that could be cause for your errors. Other things that I do experience people have is if you have a M1 chip, a Mac computer. I don't know how the software is now, but 3 months ago I got my M1 computer for my work, and I had to reinstall Linux Kali using the exact step by step, and it didn't work. It took me like 7, 8 times before it kind of did not bug out. I didn't do anything, didn't give me any warnings or error messages, just didn't boot. It's just like that. So if you have an M1 chip Mac computer, I just feel sorry for you. I'm sorry, but I just don't think it's a good idea. If you want to have a virtual machine running Linux Kali, either you go ahead and use the VMware player for Windows, or you go ahead and download the VMware Fusion, like that, for Mac. There we go. I cannot type, now I can. And that is the version for Mac. You can also use the player. I'm fairly sure it's also free for Mac, so you can go ahead and do that. But that's the one for Mac, and I use the VMware Fusion. It's the one that's the same as the VMware player for Windows. If you're using something else than Windows or Mac, the typical architecture of Mac, by the way, not the M1, which is still avoidable, but probably a bit difficult for some of you guys that buy a new computer. Well, I feel sorry for you guys, but it probably will be better at some point. I don't know when. I'm not the developer of software. I need to ask the VMware guys, you know, whenever you're gonna support. Maybe it's already supported. I do not really. Yeah, there is. Use for free with the personal use. So it is also free for Mac. There we go. That's the proof. But I do not really research into the fact of the M1 chip, whether it works or not. I think it's a waste of time, in all honesty. You know, I would definitely use something that works for now. This is what I usually say, that get your tools working. Don't waste time, you know, getting tools to work, because you're not gonna get any work done. If you're spending all your time trying to install something, then pick an easier route. Maybe the easier route do mean that you spend 10 hours, then maybe it means you need to spend 2 hours or something going completely different route, but then it works. In most occasions, people tend to say like, oh, I cannot do that because I spent so much time. Well, just do it, okay? Just do it. So I think that is for now. I don't have anything more to say. If you have experiences like when you type commands in the command prompt in Linux Kali, virtualized software, and you're pressing space or the up or down keys, and it kind of continues onwards, it is something to do with virtualizations. I have had that issue before. I still have it sometimes. I don't know exactly what and why. But Windows 11 also had some issues. I'm not sure if they fixed it 100%. But, you know, everything comes with a price. Windows 10 was better for virtualization in my eyes. Probably some of the things are fixed now. I'm definitely going to try and look for a better solution. But then again, whenever you find a better solution, you also experience people that's like, it doesn't work for them. So that's typical IT, typical computers. I'm just going to be honest now. No fix is going to work for everyone. Don't fall for it. You know, your computer is always different in some ways. And that's just the way it is. All right. See you again online. Have a really nice day.